Hello everyone, and welcome to my first video of 2025. This one is going to be a nerve-wracking one for me because I have never shown my face on this channel. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So this is me, and I want to give a brief introduction. My name is Luke. I am an 18-year-old artist from Kenya. I've been drawing since 2023, and I've not been as active on YouTube, maybe sharing a few snippets here and there and not as consistent, but I'm driven by a love for character design and animation, mostly by old Renaissance Disney art, so the likes of Tarzan and The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, etc. And that's what inspires me. So this video, I'm hoping to keep it as short as I can. This is what I could call a limited setup or a temporary one. And before I get into what we're going to be talking about today, which is probably already in the title, I'd say thank you to anyone who's watching this video. It is scary for me to present myself before people, but I'm hoping that it becomes something. So in regards to the way this video is going to go, I'm just going to give a sort of reflective recap on 2024 and how 2024 was for me, and then we're going to do a small Q&A. I'd ask some people to put questions from Instagram, and I'm going to answer those questions, and then I'm going to talk about the future of my art, the things I'm pursuing this year and where I hope that takes me, as well as the future of this YouTube channel and a few other small things that I'd want to add. So without further ado, let's begin. So 2024 is a year that, if I was to put a phrase to it, it would be ups and downs. I felt like there were points in the year where my art was quite efficient, and other times where I felt like it was less than average. So I've been drawing for 2 years, since 2023, and between March of 2023 when I started, April of 2023 when I started, and the end of that year, 2023, I'd only drawn so much, not as much as one would while starting art. I had skipped over the fundamentals. I was just doing fan arts and all that, the common traps that people fall into when starting their art journeys. With 2024, I still skipped a lot of the fundamental aspects of drawing, but it came with certain lessons. So some of the things that I learned in the year of 2024 was embracing mistakes and just moving along. You're making the art for you and not for anyone else. So I just kept that in mind and went head on into the year. So as I was saying, there are parts where my art was good and others where I felt it was lacking. So January, February, March was relatively good months. And then April and then May came, and I decided to participate in Mermay, and I felt like that was the month in which my art was just lackluster. It was uninteresting, even after trying to put as much work into it as I could. And then June came along, and I decided to make my own prompt-based drawing challenge called Toontastic, where it's just drawing a cartoon character every day for the month of June. And then July came, and I participated in Marvel July, which is also a prompt-based challenge where you draw a Marvel character for every day of July. And I feel like in July and during Toontastic, June and July were the months where I felt, okay, I am doing something, and it felt amazing to me. As time went on, around October, I got into digital art on a Wacom graphics tablet, the Intuos Touch 5. It is very hard. Even now, I barely use it. I just prefer to stick to my pencil and paper until I'm able to join the Procreate clan in the future. But it was very difficult for me to get into digital art and animation because of how the adjustment of using a graphics tablet on your computer, that hand-eye coordination, versus learning a skill that isn't necessarily easy to learn, the digital art and animation side. But I got some of the way there. And so that's what 2024 looked like mostly to me. And then the Disney December drawing challenge, I participated and was able to complete every prompt, and I felt good. So 2024 was a year of ups and downs. That's how I would describe it. That's like a brief recap of what 2024 was for me, both on YouTube, Instagram, and personally in regards to my artistic journey. Now getting into the Q&A. So one of the questions that was asked is, how do you get back into drawing after an art block? Art block is something that I have experienced a lot, not as much this year, in the last 1.5 months, 1 month and 3 weeks, but more of last year, where you'd feel you're stuck in a rut when it comes to your art. And I feel like the primary way for me to get out of it was to just draw something that I know will take me 2 minutes to draw. For me would be something, maybe Disney characters, for example, like Olaf. Olaf is just 3 shapes with a carrot and eyes. So those, just drawing something that comes easily to you. And then also it's good to step away from what you're doing and just go do other things as you regain your energy or drive to do art. Another question was, what is your favorite thing to draw? I think my favorite thing to draw is still Disney fan art, especially on the sketching side of things. And as much as I've not done any of that this year, I still think it is by far my favorite thing to draw. Another question is, what is your favorite character that you have designed? Okay, I think this is a good time to mention one more thing that happened in 2024 was that I started a comic, or I started planning for a comic, and it came out this year, and I did the character designs for that comic. The comic was called Pip and Percy. It's about 2 birds that just make jokes, and the objective of the comic is to feel like you as the reader are friends with these birds, sort of like an anti-loneliness comic, if that even makes sense. I don't even know if it's achieved that goal, but anyway, that's a comic that I've set up on Webtoon. I'll talk more about that when I'm talking about the future of this channel and art and everything. So next question, or last question, is what do you think was the biggest failure in regards to your art? I feel like for me the biggest failure is more of a personal thing of, again, as mentioned in the beginning, is skipping the fundamentals. Skipping the fundamentals of art, I feel, was one of the things that hindered my artistic progress, especially. So 2 things. So I started extremely late at the age of 16, and then I skipped the fundamentals, and then all those things just created a downward spiral in regards to the progression of my art. And now to what 2025 and the rest of my artistic journey looks like. So 2025 for me started with a very key decision, which is to just focus on the things that I've missed, which is fundamentals. So I went back to learning how to draw anatomy from books, from YouTube channels, from just study. So that's one thing that I'm taking into 2025 is just learning. So learning how to draw arms, learning how to draw fingers, feet, hands, the face, how human bodies are constructed, because if I'm to be a character designer in the future, these are skills that I need to have in my mind. Also drawing things like animals, just learning is the objective for 2025. 2025. In regards to the comics that I mentioned, it came out earlier this year, Pip and Percy, and it's on Webtoon, and a bit of it is on Instagram. My Instagram is having an issue with posting more than 10 images on it. So there's only 2 episodes on Instagram, but on Webtoon there's 3, and I hope to produce more as often as possible, so you can check them out. Links will be in the description. So in regards to the future of my art, I want to be a character designer and 2D animator. So anything that, now coming backwards from that, whether it's learning perspective, form, gesture, even if it takes realism, which I cannot do whatsoever, even if it takes that to be able to achieve my goal, that is what I'm aiming towards. In regards to the future of this channel, I want to be able to post as often as possible, and also want to drive what I could call a community engagement of sorts. So taking suggestions from people on either what to draw or what to make a video about. And that's just a brief explanation of what's going on in 2025. This is my first video of 2025 and my first face-on video on this channel. One last thing is I have a podcast. I've been running a podcast since last year, but it really started being something serious for me when this year started. There's 9 episodes out right now, the latest being on how AI and advancements in technology will affect the future of jobs, and the 10th episode is coming out before March, is going to be about how AI and advancement in tech is affecting the art and animation industry. So that's something that I'd really love for you to check out if you're into that. And if you're more of a reader, I also have a newsletter with the same podcast. The podcast is called the Yodaverse because my second name is Yoda, and that is my universe. Those are the kinds of things that I like to talk about. So that will be it for today's video. I do not know whether I've missed anything, and if I have, I am not recording this again because this is the second time I'm recording this. But yeah, this is a new journey for me. It's something that I've scared of doing, but again, I want to take action and face fears. Those are the kinds of things that I'm taking into 2025 as we go on. So I'm very thankful to anyone who watched this video, watched this far, watched till the end. I'm absolutely grateful. Feel free to comment below what you think. Any suggestions for future videos. I want this again to be a community built thing. I'll take your suggestions. I'll answer any comments or questions that you may have, both here or on Instagram and other social platforms, and the links to which will be in the descriptions below. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care, stay positive, and goodbye.